Fueling up for your riding is something we all know as essential, but fast training involves heading out on an empty stomach before that pre-ride meal. The theory is that it helps improve your performance. A quick search on the internet, however, reveals it's a quite controversial topic with a whole raft of conflicting advice and opinions. So, is it the golden nugget that many claim? Time for a bit of myth busting. Fast training essentially involves riding on a limited supply of carbohydrates. To count as fast training, your last meal would have had to be in 10 to 14 hours prior to your ride. For most, this would happen in the morning before the breakfast, after a whole night's sleep and an early dinner the day before. When you're riding in a fasted state, your body is relying more on fat as a fuel source because those glycogen stores are depleted and it doesn't have that readily available glucose to keep the muscles moving. The theory goes that if you take on regular fasted exercise, you can improve your body's ability using fat as a fuel source and also increase the amount of fat burnt, which helps your riding. That's because you are teaching your body to not just rely on carbohydrates as a fuel source, but also fat, which is stored in the body in relatively vast quantities. Theoretically, even the leanest of athletes have enough fat stored in their body for 100 hours of continuous marathon running. So the idea is that when you go back to fuel training after a period of fast training, your body is much more efficient as using fat as a fuel source, as well as carbohydrates. This means you can spare those glycogen stores for later in the ride, allowing you to go further and faster than ever before. That's not the only potential benefit though. It's said that training while fasted can improve your glucose tolerance. That's your body's ability at moving sugar from the blood into tissues like muscle and fat. Plus, it's also thought that fasted training can lead to increased mitochondrial adaptations. Now, we all remember that mitochondria from our days in the biology classroom, don't we? Thank you! You did forget that lesson like I may have done. Here is a quick recap. The mitochondria are essentially the powerhouses of the cells in our bodies. Their job is to produce energy and the cells in our muscles are full of them. Anyway, we can make the mitochondria better at doing their job. It's going to mean that we are going to be able to ride our bikes faster than we did before. It's said that fasted training does just that. So the theory all sounds great, doesn't it? But how does that translate when you look at the science? Is all of that true? You may think about using fasted training to manage your body weight. This study, which looked at 20 healthy female participants, actually found that fasted exercise was not any better than fat exercise for reducing your body weight and also your total fat mass during a diet designed for weight loss. Performance-wise too, you're much better to take on fat exercise rather than fast if you want to maximize your performance on the day of your actual effort. Foreign studies, though, have shown that fasted exercise could drive enhanced metabolic and cellular responses, which in turn could theoretically lead to better performance outcomes in the long run. Basically, your body appears to be a better athlete at a cellular level, increasing your body's efficiency at burning carbs and using fat as a fuel source. Whilst the theory around positive adaptations due to fasted training seems pretty solid, in the real world, studies don't actually point to it making you cycle any faster. This 2021 meta-analysis examining 407 scientific papers actually found the evidence to support a performance-enhancing effect is pretty weak. Why might this be the case? Well, I guess you have to look at the whole picture when it comes to your training, because riding in a fasted state does carry some risks. Low mood and immunity, impaired recovery between sessions, and it can contribute to REDS or relative energy deficiency in sport, which carries a whole load of different symptoms ranging from menstrual disruption to fatigue all the way through to long-term heart damage. Whilst training fasted may lead to those theoretical benefits, putting it into practice could cause your long-term performance to get derailed due to one or more of those reasons. One step forward, 2 or 3 steps back, so to speak. Bottom line, if you want to make the most out of your cycling, you're better off training in a well-fed, carb-fueled state to maximize your performance and recovery in the long term. Thanks for your watching, and if you have interest in cycling information and tips, please follow the Gel in You official.